281 to listen. And if you're in the UK and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953. You can watch both sides of the story live on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Both Sides 106. Email bothsides106 at live.com. Send your WhatsApp voice notes, audio messages, and text messages to 876-365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma, in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donna, and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all, as leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they met with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of joy, a bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Have a holly jolly Christmas of the year. Oh, to friends you know, and everyone you meet. Ho, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, this one's for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and a Christmas you never near. Oh my, you have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Holly jolly Christmas, the best time of the year. Holly jolly Christmas. Oh, your love to hands you know, and everyone you meet. Ho, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Some
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
Holly Jolly Christmas, Burl Ives. And before that, A Visit from St. Nicholas by Clement Clark Moore. It was the night before Christmas. That's the combination for this afternoon on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We thank you for joining us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. Good afternoon to Cassandra Stephen Brandford. She says, hi, good evening. It's my birthday today. Well, happy birthday to you, Cassandra Stephen Brandford, and many, many, many more birthdays we're sure will come. Norman Hines says, blessed afternoon, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. To you too, Norman Hines. Thank you very much for tuning in and being a part of the experience. What's on your mind this afternoon? Taking your calls as usual on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat, there's always YouTube. All you need is a smart device like a smartphone, tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection, but more importantly, internet connectivity. One moment, please. Hello? Hello? Good afternoon. It is. Thank you. Would you just a moment? Let me just confirm. You want to speak on air or off air? Because we're off air now. On air. Okay. Hang on a moment, please. We do have an interview scheduled for 2:15, which is in another 2 minutes. Oh. All right. Hold on, please. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And we have a caller who is very early. He tells us that he's not going to be too long. And I reminded him that we have a scheduled interview coming up at 2:15 this afternoon. So let's make it happen. Hold on a moment. Let's just make sure we can hear him loud and clear. All right. Let's see. Hello? Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm not here. I'm trying to put you on speaker. Just a moment. What is happening here? Yeah, it's going to run out. That's what I was saying. If you're able to rejoin us at 2:30, that would be fine. But Oh, we have Land Solutions. Yes, sorry, yes. So, well, let's take the break and come back. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Importers, are you tired of the hassle? Are you tired of the wait? Value your time because we value yours. Request contactless clearance through your agent to clear your personal, non-commercial shipments at the ports. It is more efficient. It is secure. For more details, email Jamaica Customs at contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm. Contactless clearance, powered by the Jamaica Customs Agency. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Introducing Go Gel, the ultimate solution for fast and effective pain relief. Soothe your aches and pain within seconds. Whether it's muscle soreness, joint pain, or back pain, Go Gel is here to provide quick relief. Thanks to its fast-acting formula, you'll experience relief right when you need it most. Go Gel provides lasting comfort so you can stay active. So get moving with Go Gel. Available in pharmacies.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Ho, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can. Somebody waits for you. Kiss her once,
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. And we thank you for tuning in and listening in. Thank you for your listenership and support. Doing things just a little differently this afternoon in the interest of time. We have to have a word with Ms. Opal Bryan. She is Civil Servant of the Year 2023 in the Management category. And she's also a senior case officer at the Administrator General's Department. And we're anxious to hear more about this FHC Civil Servant of the Year competition. Opal Bryan, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. Good to have you online with us here on Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM.
Thank you so much, Dervan.
You're welcome. And congratulations on your work. So far, so great.
Thank you much.
Right. So let's help our listeners to understand what is happening here in terms of a Civil Servant of the Year competition.
For the last 19 years, the Civil Service Week, which is powered by the Ministry of Finance through the Civil Service Week Steering Committee, the Jamaica Civil Service Association, in partnership with FHC, has decided to recognize and award civil servants who have really been giving of their best to this country, Jamaica. And this year is no different. They have opted to award 3 persons in 3 different categories: technical, middle management, and managerial categories. But based on your introduction, I'm actually a corporate planner at the Administrator General's Department. My colleague who got the mid-managerial award is Ruth Magouda, who is the senior case officer here at the Administrator General's Department.
Oh, well, congratulations to Ruth Magouda.
Sure, thank you. On our behalf.
Yes. And so is the competition done now, or there's still work to come?
It is completed. However, we are tasked with the responsibility of having a project. So that is the next phase of this assignment after being awarded. It's 3 persons, and I must also congratulate the other 2 awardees. I did mention Ruth Magouda from the Administrator General's Department, and also Christine Rowe, who took the award in the technical category. So we are tasked with the responsibility of identifying and undertaking a project which is financed by the FHC. So that is the next
FHC, that's First
Heritage Corporate Credit Union.
All right, so
that is the next phase of the competition. So Civil Service Week was last year, which we had last week. We had a week of activities, including church services, public forum, the Long Service Award, which was held at King's House, and we had other activities during the course of the week.
And so, have the projects been revealed yet, or it's just a matter of over time the participants will come forward with their projects or plans and share it after that?
So the award ceremony was last week, previous Friday, and the awardees are responsible for identifying the project, which we will be guided by the organizers in terms of what we will put forward the project, and they will give support. We will execute the project. So we are working on that at this time, and we intend to start working next week on the project. that we have chosen.
So, for future reference, for those who missed this year, what's the procedure for those who think they could benefit from one of these awards, meaning they feel that they have done the kind of work that could be recognized?
Okay, so the public service servant is a beautiful place to work. In spite of the challenges,
Mhm.
it is a beautiful place to work. So when you're in an organization, usually you're nominated. So your colleague, or you can self-nominate your colleagues, your HR would identify persons who have really made an impact on the organization, and their names are submitted with the justification why should you really be chosen as a civil servant of the year. That is sent in to the steering committee. The committee will then do a shortlisting, after which an interview is conducted. Then the awards are given.
Mhm.
Now, for this year, it was like 245 nominees.
Submissions or nominees? Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
Then it went down. It was shortly 12 persons,
Mhm.
and those 12 persons were interviewed. Then the awards were given. There's also, for the last 2 years, a People's Choice component, which was added. And also, I also copped that award, which, was a popularity contest, if you read. So that's a part of the civil service, civil servant of the week activity also. But persons can self-nominate, or your organization can nominate you. Give good justification, then you go and represent through your interview, which is conducted by the steering committee, the FHC, and their panel.
Okay.
That's basically the process. And as long as you feel, and service, Dervan, is important, you must
Yes.
prove that you are contributing to your organization, but not only to your organization, also to your community, because of course you have a project, so you must prove that you have been involved in community activities, because this is about service,
Mhm.
giving excellent service to the people of Jamaica.
Yes. And how have you been able to pull it off or pull it together, this Civil Servant of the Year competition? Is it that you have called on your existing human resource in getting it up and running? Have you sought assistance in terms of sponsorship and so on? I mean, how are you able to do this? Because it's usually quite a big deal.
Well, yes, civil servants are big deals. No two people around here. But if I understand you clearly, in terms
Yes.
of the nomination, is that where you're coming from? If it's in terms of the nomination, incidentally, I actually nominated two of my colleagues,
Mhm.
and while I was there assisting getting the things together, I got a call from HR to say that I was nominated, and I was like, "Oh, really?"
Mhm.
But it was a great feeling. So after the nomination and the justifications were sent in, we did the interviews with the organizers. So it wasn't there wasn't a lot of work after you've been nominated, except that you prepare for your interviews, you get anxious moments, but after that, it is the award ceremony, and you hope and pray that you made a good enough impression to be chosen. And thank God I was chosen.
Yeah.
And I really must say thanks to my CEO, Mr. Stacey and Carty,
Mhm.
and our HR executive and team, Miss Doreen Wright, and the entire Administrator General's Department, especially when it comes on to the People's Choice Award. They went all out to ensure that I got that prize. And I must tell you, Dervan, very good time for us here at the Administrator General's Department. We are celebrating all of 15 years, and this is our fourth hold on this award as a department, three of which are consecutive holds. And it's the first time that we have three persons shortlisted in all categories and two persons coming out on top in the various categories. I must say big up to my colleague Ruth Magrouda. Charles Brown, he didn't make it to being awarded, but to come from 245 and being in a top 12, that's a really powerful thing. And I must commend these two other colleagues, and also Christine Rowe from the Ministry of Justice. She did a great job in copying the technical category award, and she has a powerful story, and I must commend her. And I'm looking forward to working with Ruth and Christine in executing a project. And the theme for the civil service week is raising the bar, strengthening the bond. And I think it's a great time for us to showcase excellent service as we work towards our project. And we're strengthening the bonds because it's three of us from three different backgrounds, but we are tasked with the same responsibility. So we will be united as a team as we get this job done. But it is a great feeling, Dervan, and we are now ambassadors of the brand, and we have no choice but to raise the bar and set an example for persons who are looking on.
Yes. Well, it seems you have done pretty well again, and in terms of this support, you have gotten very, very good support, very strong support, which is quite encouraging as well. And so your tenure will go for what, a year?
For a year. So next November, again, there will be another round of awards.
Okay.
So we are now expected to carry the torch
Mm-hmm.
and raise the bar
Yes.
as ambassadors of this brand. And I must also commend First Heritage as a non-government organization for really partnering with the government and the Jamaica Civil Service Association to honor these persons. I think it's a very good way of showing that public servants are really strong people, persons who are committed to a task, and they want to recognize and award us for this. So I must commend Roxanne Linton is the CEO of FHC for the partnership that she has, joined with the Civil Service Week Committee and the Jamaica Civil Service Association, and of course my president, Mrs. Precious Clark Griffith, the Jamaica Civil Service Association president. I really want to commend them also for this.
Yes. Well, we definitely look forward to speaking with you and or other participants at some point before your tenure is up. But we'll have to leave it there for now. We're up on the break and ready for another feature, another segment. So thank you very much, Opal Bryan, for your work. Thank you. Congratulations. All the best. And we hope to talk with you again in the near future.
Very much, Dervan. It was a pleasure being here to share.
Likewise. Thank you. Take care. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:31 on Power 106.
Comic Laugh is back Sunday, December 3, 6 p.m. at Jamaica College. Hear comedians Leighton Smith, Michael Abrams, Pretty Boy Floyd, Kathy Grant, Lemon, Diego, MC Dufton Shepherd, and Slashy. Pre-sold tickets $5,500. At the gate $5,750. Get them at Fontana Barbican Supermarket Mall Pharmacies or Best Care. Sponsors: Niche Financing, Atlas Group, Tropical Foliage, National Baking, Lasco, JC, and others. Comic Laugh Sunday, December 3 at 6 p.m. at JC. It's all for the kids at Best Care Special Ed School. Be there.
Real Business, appointment radio for everything economics, locally, regionally, and internationally. Real Business, your source for engaging conversations on business, finance, and economics. Join hosts Ralston Hyman and Dr. Andrew Sutherland from 9 to 11 a.m. on weekdays as they bring you the most authoritative analysis on economic matters. Listen to riveting features such as The Big Picture, Under the Financial Microscope, the Business Information Update, and the local and international market updates. From the latest happenings on various business sectors and players in the economy, to how fiscal and monetary policies affect your life, make it real business on Power 106 FM, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11 a.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
It's Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. In a moment, let's say good afternoon and welcome to Attorney at Law, Calicia Findley.
Good afternoon, Dervan. Thank you. Good afternoon, listeners. Thank you for tuning in to today's edition of Land Solutions. I'm Calicia Findley. I'll go straight to our messages. We have quite a few. But as always, feel free to send your messages to 876-881-5254 and to call in live on air. Those numbers are 876-922-4113-6. How much is transfer tax and who pays it? Transfer tax is 2%, and it's the lowest it has ever been. I remember at one point it was as high as 15%, then 7.5%, and it's now 2%. It's been 2% for a couple of years, maybe 5 years, I could be wrong, but it is now 2%. It is paid by the vendor, by the seller, by the person giving land. And it is provided for in the Transfer Tax Act. Yes, there is actually legislation specific to transfer tax. So if you're selling land, budget for the transfer tax is 2%. If you're giving land, so let us say mother is giving land to son, it's the person who's giving the land who pays the transfer tax, the transferor. My husband is elderly and sick. He can't sign and is getting dementia. He has land in his name. How can I sell it to take care of him? If you have a power of attorney, it doesn't seem that you do, but if you have an existing power of attorney, you can sell the land. If not, you can't do a power of attorney because he's elderly. I think You say he's getting dementia, and you need to have the requisite, accomplishment, frame of mind to be able to sign any document, including a power of attorney. So if he absolutely can't sign, doesn't have the mental capacity, then you will have to apply for what we call guardianship in court. And a guardianship is an order granted by the court giving you permission, to handle someone's affairs. And there is no way around that. I'm sorry. Anything else would be illegal. So what we advise persons to do, especially for persons who are, getting up in age or who may be ill, before that time comes, excuse me, I think I'm losing my voice, before that time comes, try, and I know it's not easy, and sometimes life just happens, it hits you right away, but where at all possible, try to put things in place. If you see that someone is slowing down, you see that they, may not be able to manage as they usually do. If you see that coming on, start to put things in place. Let them do their work, let them do a power of attorney if they choose to do so that if it gets to a stage where they are unable to understand what's happening, unable to take care of themselves or handle their property, then at least you would have some things in place so everything can play out smoothly. Let me go over to our text line. What is the cost to remove someone from a title? All right. The cost, legal fees, depends on the value of the property. Generally, it's about 3 to 5%. Fees may vary a little bit from attorney to attorney, and depending on the type of property, the value, it may just be a flat fee for legal fees. So, how much to remove a loan from a title with respect to legal fees? About 3 to 5%, because again, it varies from attorney to attorney. You also have to budget for transfer tax. I just mentioned transfer tax earlier. Once you take your name off a title, transfer tax will be applicable, and generally that's 2% of the value of the property or the value of the interest that's been transferred. Excuse me. So if property is valued for $10 million, there are 2 people on the title, one is coming off, transfer tax is going to be based on the half value, which is $5 million. If John is on title and he's giving it away to Mary, transfer tax is going to be based on the full value of $10 million. So before you decide that you want to add someone to your title or remove them from your title, best to come in for a consultation, because we will set out all the fees and costs so you know exactly the sums that you're working with. Same goes for when you're buying property. So you have to start with knowing whether you can afford the property. So coming to an attorney for a consultation, you're getting a mortgage. Also, you need an attorney, but you also go into your loan institution to find out, get a pre-approval, because that will help you to find out how much you're qualified for and how much you can afford. My father died recently, and his lawyer refuses to let me see a copy of the will. What can I do? I am not certain why the attorney would not want you or would be refusing to let you see the will. But in cases where I don't allow someone to see a will, it's usually because they are not an interested party, meaning they're not an executor or they're not a beneficiary. So perhaps, I can't say for certain, but perhaps this is the reason why this attorney is preventing you from seeing a copy of the will. Maybe hard to believe, and I say it all the time. Don't just think that you are entitled to someone's estate or that someone will automatically leave something for you in their will because you are related to them. And you can send me a follow-up message. I'm not sure why. You have any further information that you can share, but usually, like I said, we usually withhold a will from someone if they are not an interested party. And again, even if, so let us say John makes his will and he wills his property to certain people, you have another set of people who are the executors. Even if you're John's wife or John's daughter, that alone cannot entitle and will not entitle you to see a copy of the will. And again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-325, and the text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. I did a survey about 2 months ago, and it shows that my neighbor's fence comes over onto my boundary by about a foot. Can I get them to knock that part of the fence down? How long has it been like that? That's my first question to you. If the fence has been like that for more than 7 years, you can't do anything. I mean, if they agree for it to be removed, then fine. But the law says once a boundary has been like that for at least 7 years, it will automatically become that person's own. So I'm sending a follow-up message. I'm not sure how long it has been like that. If it has been like that for less than, okay, the person says 2.5 years. Okay, so you're in luck. So since it's been like that for 2.5 years, you're still within that time. So right then, let's try and do this peacefully first. Have a discussion with them. If nothing, have an attorney write them, send them a copy of your report because you want them to see that you have the evidence so you know exactly what's happening. If nothing, you can send them a notice saying that you are going to take it down and then you can proceed from there. But please follow the steps carefully. Don't just go and knock it down because you want to show that you have given them time to rectify, that you have notified them of the issue, because you don't want to end up in a worse situation with them turning around now and suing you. So be careful, and I find this is especially applicable when it comes to situations with our neighbors. Encroaching fences, trees, nuisance, any issues we have with our neighbors. Many times our problems can be solved by a simple conversation, but many of us go from 0 to 100 too quickly. So I wish you all the best. Take it in stages. Like I said, time would have gone had it been more than 7 years. You're at 2.5 years, so proceed cautiously. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Importers, are you tired of the hassle? Are you tired of the wait? Value your time because we value yours. Request contactless clearance through your agent to clear your personal, non-commercial shipments at the ports. It is more efficient. It is secure. For more details, email Jamaica Customs at contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm. Contactless clearance, powered by the Jamaica Customs Agency. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
The Young Entrepreneurs Association of Jamaica, YEA, empowering entrepreneurs with opportunities to grow personally, professionally, and commercially. YEA has impacted over 3,000 entrepreneurs. Anyone can participate. Come, join a group of illustrious partners working to change Jamaica's economic future. Visit yeajamaica.com or contact 876-825-4028. The Young Entrepreneurs Association of Jamaica, YEA.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call. 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can send your text messages and your WhatsApp messages. That number is 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. We should let you know that on a Thursday, there is an extra special treat as far as land-related matters are concerned. Every Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon at the Ocho Rios law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. And that's, again, we remind you of the numbers to call, 876-908-1950. If you want to get in touch with the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Let's return you once again to Attorney at Law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. I have a message based on answer the question previously with respect to transfer tax, and someone wants to know what is the purpose of transfer tax? And are you sure that we still have to pay if someone is giving away land? I think that's unfair. What is the purpose of transfer tax, my dear? What is the purpose of any tax? It's to provide revenue for the government, for the state. So
Hello.
that is the purpose of transfer tax. And yes, I am absolutely sure that it is still applicable once you are giving land away.
All right, so I'll look out for them then.
It is referred to as a transfer. So whether it is by sale
Thank
or
you.
by
Same
gift,
to you.
and the government charges you duties on that. If your property is in certain parishes, well, most parishes, even like the Peter and St. Andrew, and you are giving property to a relative, or you are adding a relative's name to your title, I should say, or even you're taking off a relative's name, you can get a reduction in the transfer tax. So generally, transfer tax is based on the value, the market value of the property. That's how much you would sell it for. But if it's a case where it involves relatives and it's in certain areas of the country, then we can make a special request to have the transfer tax be based on the tax roll value. And as many of us would know, tax roll value is much cheaper than the market value. So,
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, but the purpose of transfer tax is to provide revenue. But
Radio, TV,
so, yeah.
I just told to give it to
your
you.
tax dollars
Print it
that
and give
work.
it to you. Any kind of?
We're going to go with WhatsApp. What is the
Okay. So who's going to be the Nick Carner is going to do the interview?
There is no. Excuse me. There is no maximum period, you know.
I just told to print it and give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Long as
Okay.
possible, as long as the price is agreed. You have 99 years leases. So that's no minimum, no maximum. How can I convince my elderly father to make a will? I would have him go speak to an attorney, and I would have him go by himself. So you can accompany him, but I'd have him actually go into the consultation by himself. So it's not seen that you are influencing him one way or the other. We would have a discussion with him and tell him the pros and cons of making a will. Of course, our advice is for persons to always make a will, because it just makes things so much easier and streamlined. But we know how some of us are. I mean, as Jamaicans, I think we're just generally stubborn people. We want to be advised that you give. Some people, no matter how they themselves have issues with their family property, some people you just cannot convince them to make a will or to plan their estate, to put things in order. And at the end of the day, if someone decides that they're just not going to make a will, there just will be nothing you can do. So, try your best, but if your father decides he absolutely doesn't want to do it, then all the best to him. So I hope everything works out for you. Do I have to be joint tenant? And I suppose I had $1 for every time you get this question. No, you don't have to be. It is perfectly fine to be tenants in common. If you change your mind, you can always change back. You can change from joint tenants to tenants in common, from tenants in common back to joint tenancy, and there's no limit on the amount of time that you can make this change. So if there's ever any doubt, go with tenants in common. If ever after that you want to change it, then fine, no problem. There's a message coming in on Facebook, and that's facebook.com/Land Solutions. What can I do if I disagree with a valuation I got for a property?
Afternoon, Adrian.
You can, of course, you are free to obtain another valuation report. But I find most times, you see, and I'm not dissuading you, but most times, valuations are similar. There's usually like $100,000 to $500,000 margin of error. So it may not be worth your while to get another valuation report, especially if it's from one of those reputable companies. But you are free to go and get your own, or to get another one, I should say. Bear in mind, though, let us say you are purchasing property and you disagree with the valuation that you have, or let's say that you're relying on the seller's own and you're disagreeing with that valuation. The seller does not have to go with your valuation. The seller does not have to go with his or her own valuation. They can sell their property for whatever they want. If you are just hoping to get a better price, you may not be successful. And if possible, you can just send me a follow-up message letting me know which company you got the valuation from. I'm interested in finding out, and also let me know why it is that you disagree with the valuation. What does it mean to note a debt? And do you have to do this before you sell property where one person has already died? We note a debt when property has been or was owned by persons as joint tenants, and one of those persons has now died. People on title as joint tenants, A, B, and C. C has died. A and B are now the sole owners, but we have to officially note C's death on the title. That is what we refer to as an application to note death. It takes about 2 to 4 months. It's first submitted to the stamp office for estate duties to be paid. Once those have been paid, the stamp documents and the original death certificate is submitted to the title office for C's name to be noted. And yes, it has to be done before the property can be sold. It can be done simultaneously with the sale of the property. So you can do it before, note C's death, then sell the property, or you can note C's death at the same time that you're selling the property. But you absolutely cannot sell property where one person has died and their death has not been noted. And just again, we note a death when the property is owned as joint tenants. If the property was owned as tenants in common, then we would have to either probate their estate if that person made a will, or administer their estate if they did not make a will. So Sometimes when persons are trying to figure out whether to choose joint tenancy or tenants in common, one of the determining factors is how long the process will be to sort out one person's estate if someone dies. It's a shorter process if you're a joint tenant. It's a longer process if you own a tenant in common, because to administer an estate or to probate a will can take 6 months to a year. I would say though, don't let that be the sole or even the main factor when deciding how you want to own property, whether you want to own as joint tenants or tenants in common. If you want, think about it this way, as I always say, what would you want to happen to your share of the property if you die? Use that to determine how you want to own property, not how long the process will take. Do I have to do a new will if I move to another country? You do not. A will can be valid anywhere. We say this all the time. The property in Jamaica or the US, you can have one will to cover both your assets. If you want to do a new will, you can. You can do that anytime for any reason. But just so you know, you can't have two wills at a time. You can't have a will for Jamaica and a will for the US, because it's the latter one that's going to be valid. And I tell clients all the time, if you have any substantial changes in your, substantial changes in your life, so the person is named in your will, then yes, of course, do a change. I think just last week I was speaking to someone and she said that she had a particular person as her executor. That person knows that they are her executor, but she has now had a falling out with that person. And she was asking me whether she wants to go ahead and do a new will, and she was asking me whether she needs to notify that person that they will no longer be her executor, and she doesn't have to. Absolutely not. So you can go ahead and make a change. You don't have to notify anyone. You don't have to say, all right, John, you are my executor. You're no longer my executor. You don't have to. But what you should do, please, is to ensure that at least one person knows that you have made a will, and they know where it is, or they know who else has it. Because you don't want to die with a will, but then no one knows that you have made a will, because then, of course, that would defeat the purpose. Just a reminder, if you want to call us in office, that's Brown Finley & Company. Those numbers are 876-908-1950, 876-908-3518. This is Land Solutions.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
In life, the more you have to lose.
The more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind,
Knowing that whatever I own
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
with Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
Get ready for the biggest sale of the year. This Black Friday and Cyber Monday, we're slashing rental prices like never before. Grab your favorite titles, Real Friends, Joint Ends, and Thicker Than Water, all at a whopping 20% off each. Simply log into One Spot Media, select the rental tab, and rent your favorite show. Dive into these epic stories and experience the thrill of a lifetime. And it's all in one spot. Offer ends November 28th.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112-5, 922-411-225. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365. In fact, let's give you the number. It's actually 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. All are invited to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. And those numbers are 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Let's remind you as well, there's an extra special treat of a treatment, in a manner of speaking, on a Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Again, to deal with the land-related matters, the sale and the purchase of land. So on a Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, you get a bit of a bonus of sorts in terms of an opportunity to make the necessary arrangements so that you can benefit from those hours between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon at the Ocho Rios law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. Here once again is your host on this afternoon's edition of Land Solutions, attorney at law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. Continuing with our messages. I know you say that I know you say to qualify as a common law spouse, you have to live together for 5 years. What if you've lived together for 4.5 years? Could you still get a portion, but maybe not as much as if you had lived together for 5 years? That's a good question, but no, I'm sorry, you can't. The definition, you say, of common law spouse is someone who has, two people, I should say, who have lived together, two single people who have lived together for 5 years, at least 5 years. That definition is set by law. So we can't say you were there for 4 years and 360 days, or 364 days. No, it has to be minimum 5 years. And again, for those of you who may not know, once you qualify as a spouse, you are entitled to 50% of the matrimonial home, also known as the family home, and that's by virtue of the Property Rights of Spouses Act. In Jamaica, when we refer to family home and family land, we generally mean property for the entire family, where everyone, this is the house everybody goes to for Christmas. This is the property owned by grandma and great-grandparents, and this is where everybody goes. So we feel like it belongs to all of us. The property, and I just want to make a distinction, the Property Rights of Spouses Act refers to the family home. But when it says the family home, it doesn't mean it in the sense that we as Jamaicans know it. It refers to the matrimonial home. Even though the Act says family home, more often than not, you will hear me and many other attorneys who say matrimonial home to avoid any confusion. I recently divorced my husband, and he didn't help me to purchase this piece of land with both our names on it. can I use the divorce papers to remove his name? I'm sorry. Absolutely not. The fact that you are divorced means that you both still own the property, and it doesn't give you any right to remove his name. For you to remove his name from the title, he would have to agree to that removal, or if not, you may have to end up in court. Doesn't matter whether he contributed to the purchase price or not, the fact is his name is on the title. And once his name is on the title, the law says he is an equal owner with you. And I'm assuming that you probably didn't say tenants in common, like a 90% share to you or a 10% share to him. But once his name is on the title, he's an owner. So again, you have to either get him to agree, or if not, you may have to end up taking him to court or buying him out. I mean, as quote unquote unfair as it may seem, many times some persons they know they haven't contributed to the purchase of the property, but they know their rights, they know that because the name is on the title, they have an interest. And many times persons only agree to take their name off property if they are bought out. So all the best to you with that. How do I go about adding 3 sons to my title? If you just heard what I said, first thing I'm going to do is say, because I was fair, is to tell you to be careful. Because once you add your sons to your title, you're now going to have 4 of you at least on the title, and you're all going to own everything together. So you can't say after you've added the 2 sons to your title, all right, I want to sell the house now, I can just go ahead and sign. All of you are untitled, so everybody would now have to sign. But if you want to go ahead and add people to your title and your son, you do what we call an instrument of transfer. So you're going to be transferring the property from yourself to yourself and your 3 sons. And then you're going to decide with the help of your attorney if you want to be joint tenants or a tenant in common. So again, in short, we do an instrument of transfer to add your son's name to the title. It takes about 2 to 4 months. It's assessed at the stamp office first, and then once that is completed and the transfer tax and stamp duty have been paid, it then sends it to the title's office to have the name put on the title. Continuing with our messages. And again, our text and WhatsApp line is 876-881-5254. My parents died 35 years ago. No probate, executive died. No official copy of the original will, but we have a photocopy. How do we resolve this? Because so much time would have passed, you say 35 years, you can make a direct application for title. So let us say you are now living, you have been living in the house. You can say, I've been there for 20, 30 years, and just by virtue of that, I'm applying for the title and I'm entitled to a title. So that's in your situation. That's how you would resolve it. Because so much time has passed, you don't need the will again. So you can make a direct application for the title. And your first step in doing that would be to get the property surveyed. Once that is done, you come into us so we can review that and then advise you further. Someone says, thanks for the clarification on the term family land. You're welcome. A lot of persons use the term as if they're entitled to property. For example, son, daughter, grandchildren, etc. You are so correct, and it's something I talk about all the time. People think that once someone owns property and that person is related to them, mother, father, sister, auntie, grandma, whatever, they think that they're automatically entitled to it, once the person dies. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And that is what I think in large part causes so much conflict and chaos and drama with our people. We have this sense of entitlement, you know. We think that we have a right to this property. My mother used to live there. She used to own it. Absolutely not. So, I mean, I wouldn't say there's any doubt, but sometimes all of us don't even know that we don't know. So what I will say is, before you jump to conclusion, when it comes to property, before you make any assumptions, go in, please go to an attorney for a consultation. I remember someone came to me once a couple of years ago. I think it was a son. Yes, his mother and stepfather owned property, and his mother had died. She had recently died, I should say, and he came to me. He didn't want to file an action in court because he was entitled to this property or half of it because his mother's name is on the title. And of course, when we did a title search, the property was owned by the mother and stepfather as joint tenants. And many of our land solutions students will know it's the survivor who gets everything. So the property now belongs solely to the stepfather. And he was just shocked out of his mind. He couldn't believe it. I even said, look, if his daughter was sold, get a second opinion. But there's no automatic entitlement, so please be very careful. And again, don't sit down and wait on your parents or grandparents to die. Get up and try and make life on your own. Continuing with our messages. Is it true that I can take my neighbor to court for not helping to build the wall between us? You can. So the Dividing Fences Act, and it says that your neighbor should contribute to the cost of building the wall, and it's a reasonable wall. So if it's some grossly expensive sum that you are spending on the wall, the neighbor is not entitled to. So yes, you can do that. But as I was saying before, have a discussion first. I would hope that before you embark on erecting the fence, that you have had a discussion with your neighbor. You would have maybe showed them invoices and come to an agreement with them. I think what happens sometimes is persons just, hey man, your neighbor's supposed to pay for half of the wall. The persons go, they put up a structure, and then they just say, here are your receipts. You need to pay the back for half of the wall. And it doesn't work quite like that. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Choose Smart Stop Auto Supplies for service and front-end parts for Toyota, Nissan, Honda, and Suzuki make cars. We also sell batteries and tints and specialize in radiator and radiator parts. We source hard-to-get parts by special order. Smart Stop Auto Supplies, Shop 4, Dr. Rock Plaza, Santa Cruz at 876-966-2869. Make the Smart Stop. Attention all pet owners. Treat your dog for fleas and ticks with a monthly chewable and say goodbye to external parasites. Also, protect your furry friends from heartworm disease with HeartGuard. Ask your veterinarian today about keeping your canine companion protected from parasites. Or visit the Hypro A Supercenter's veterinary pharmacy at White Mile, St. Catherine. Happiness is powerful pet protection.
It's the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call once again. 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254. 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. All are encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Let's remember as well, on a Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, there is extra special treatment for clients and potential clients of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company. So that's every Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Here once again is attorney at law, Calicia Findlay.
Thank you, Dervan. Someone wants me to repeat something. Let me just do that. This is the person who asked how to add their 3 sons to their title. You would first go into your attorney for a consultation because it comes with there's quite a few implications when you're adding someone to your title. They now become owners along with you on the title. So you're on the title by yourself, you're adding your 3 sons now. After you've added them, you can't just decide, all right, I want to sell it and I do it in their permission. If you still want to retain some kind of control, you could do what we call a life interest. So their names are on the title and they will get it after you die, and that way you retain some control. But again, to add their names to the title, we would do what's called a transfer, where you're transferring your interest from yourself to yourself and your 3 sons. Send me another message if you need any further clarification. What does equal share absolutely mean? I'm happy for this question. It seems simple, and it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. The equal share absolutely means just that, equal share. So that means John would own 50% and Mary would own 50% of the property. We, however, usually use the term equal share absolutely when someone is thinking of it. Usually when someone is writing their will themselves. But what many persons don't know is if you say, I will my house to John and Mary in equal shares absolutely, that automatically means that John and Mary will own the home as tenants in common. And remember, when you own property as tenants in common, you own separate shares, you can will your separate shares. So, some persons, especially when, let's say, it's a parent willing to their children, usually the intention, let's say they have 3 children, usually the intention is that if they will the property to the 3 children, if one child dies, they want the property to go to the surviving 2, and then ultimately to the last surviving child. Some persons don't know that though, and they say, all right, I want all my 3 children to benefit equally, so they put John, Mary, and Susan in equal shares absolutely. That means that if when one of the children dies, their share won't automatically go to the other 2. They will have been tenants in common, and it's going to go to whoever they say in their will. So, if you're willing the property, 2 people, you want the survivor to get everything, you would just say, I will my property to John and Mary. If you want John and Mary to be able to will their separate share, then you would say to John and Mary in equal shares, or to John and Mary in equal shares. Absolutely. It can be a little complicated, but of course, that is why we encourage persons to seek legal advice when they are making a will. So equal share means your own equal separate share. So please, be very careful when you are making a will. Please talk a little bit about marriage revoking will. I recall hearing you say it once. Can you refresh my memory, please? Marriage cancels out a will. Full stop. So let us say you have a will. You did your will in 2022. In January 2023, you met someone, you fell in love, and you got married to them. In 2023, because that marriage has now come after you made the will, that will is automatically cancelled. You don't need to officially cancel it. You need to tear it up, record it again, tear it up, nothing. It's automatically cancelled. Marriage revokes a will. So if you have your will and you get married after you have made your will, if you still want to have a will, you have to do an entirely new will. There is no if, or there are no ifs and buts. Marriage cancels a will. And why? That's just what the law says. It means you have to do a new will. The question I usually get asked right after this one is, if marriage cancels a will, what about divorce? No. Unfortunately, divorce does not automatically cancel a will. But of course, I would venture to say that if you have gotten a divorce, you may want to review the terms of your will. Like we always say, any major changes in life, the circumstances, the person is named in the will, to your relationship, please review your will, review all your assets. Estate planning is an ongoing thing. You don't just do it 1 year and then you forget about it. Especially for persons who are always, maybe selling property or acquiring property. It's an ongoing process and you have to keep at it. Let me just jump over to Facebook. Is it true? No, I'm sorry, that was the previous message. If you sell your land for more money than you bought it for, is that an issue? Absolutely not. And that is usually what happens, because in Jamaica, real estate appreciates, meaning the value of real estate goes up. Maybe that's why we're so passionate about it. So I would expect, especially if you own property and you've owned it for some time, that and you're now selling it, that you're going to be selling it for much more than you would have bought it for, because property values go up in Jamaica. I mean, it goes without saying, if you're thinking about selling your property, please do a valuation, a minimum evaluation letter, so you have an idea of what the property is valued for. Let's see if I can just get in a couple more messages. Can you sell land with just a will and the probate? You can, but if it's unregistered property, you can use the will and the probate along with the common law title. That may be possible. But if it's registered property, the probate needs to be endorsed on the title, meaning that the executive names are put on the title. Many persons think, once property is willed here and the person dies, that the property now automatically becomes theirs. Not the case. You have to go through the official process of probate and then have it noted on the title before you can go ahead and sell the property. How do you get a loan from the NHG? You would have to be contributing to the NHG. if you have not been, then you can go into them to find out how to start the process. You don't have to be employed because self-employed persons can also contribute to the NHG. So to do that, usually you have to show a pattern of contribution. Once you have established that, you can just go right ahead and apply for a loan. So you would identify property into a sale agreement and then formally apply to the NHG and any other loan institution. But again, before you start looking for property, before you put down a deposit, please go into your loan institution to find out how much you qualify for. You don't want to go there and embarrass yourself and say, yes, I can buy this $10 million house when you only qualify for $2 million. You don't want to say, yes, I can buy this house, and at the end of the day, yes, you can pay your mortgage, but you can't pay your other bills. Please can't stress the importance of the pre-approvals, The lawyer says the power of attorney my grandmother gave me isn't valid. What does this mean? I'm not sure why this is valid. If you could just email us a picture of it. But usually I find that sometimes there are errors in the powers of attorney. If they're done overseas, they may not reference the Registration of Titles Act or have the whatever folio number. They may not be, may not be signed properly. Those are common issues we have with powers of attorney. So send me a copy. But go with what your lawyer says. So you either need to do a new one, or if your mother is able to sign, let you go ahead and sign whatever documentation is needed. Many times persons don't actually need a power of attorney because the person who's given the power still has the capacity to handle business or sign on their own. What can I do if there's no money to probate a will? If it's the executor's responsibility, even though property is built to, let's say, Mary and John is the executor, it's John's responsibility to ensure that the property is probated. If John has no money, John can take it out of his pocket. John can afford it, and then he can reimburse himself. But you may just have to go in and talk to the attorney and come to some agreement. Because if there's no money to pay, the attorney will pay the estate duties. Once you get probate, you'll have to sell the home and to pay those expenses and to pay yourself. So all the best. Please plan your estate so you don't end up in situations like this where your executors don't have any money to settle your debt. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of Land Solutions. I've been your host for today, Felicia Finley. Thanks as always to Dervan and the team. Take care, everyone.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
The Young Entrepreneurs Association of Jamaica, YEA, empowering entrepreneurs with opportunities to grow personally, professionally, and commercially. YEA has impacted over 3,000 entrepreneurs. Anyone can participate. Come, join a group of illustrious partners working to change Jamaica's
that when you walk down
with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're standing by to connect with Patrick Dias of Dias Protection Services, which is based in Florida. And it's an opportunity for us to hear about this once in a lifetime raffle. And we're going to get more information from Mr. Dias himself, who is going to be joining us here in the studios of Power 106 FM. Hopefully he'll get to us before the song runs out and we're out of music.
where you can see somebody waits for you. This is once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the story of Jamaica and Jamaicans at home and abroad. As we said, we are featuring Patrick Dias and his organization, Dias Protection Services, a range of services, security classes, armed and unarmed, concealed weapon training, event security, security services, private investigations, courier services, process serving, notary services, Jamaican passports, Jamaican birth, death, marriage certificate services, firearms sales, legal firearm sales. And of course, available on the various social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter. Well, it's now called X. And that's the day I stopped doing anything. Anyway, let's move on. So that then we have Instagram as the other social media platforms. So we were introduced to Mr. Dias when we were in Florida at the Grace Jamaican Jerk Festival, and he brought to our attention that his outfit, not what he's going to wear, as in his enterprise, his outfit, Dias Protection Services, would be or is a part of this massive raffle. The tickets are $5,000, and who better to tell us all about it than the man himself, if he's not jet lagged?
No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, pleasure to be here once again. I appreciate you having me.
Yes.
Yes. Also, thank you for having me in Florida. Less noisy, but I hope if what they didn't hear, then they can hear it now.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. So let's get a bit of background so that our listeners can connect.
Yes, of course, Patrick Dias, the youth from Clarendon, grew up in Clarendon and Spanish Town. At tender age, I joined the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And if I didn't join the Jamaica Constabulary Force growing up in Clarendon or Spanish Town, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably be in Remand Center or somewhere else. But joined the JCF and it catapulted me to where I am today.
Yes.
All right. It make a young boy become a man very quick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm here today, because of that organization. We're trying to give back, do a raffle for the convalescent home and give back something to the guys down there, who are trying to rehabilitate themselves, some wheelchairs, whatever necessary they need, I'm here for them.
Because we very rarely hear about the convalescent home,
yes,
if at all.
Yes.
And for you to have led this mission,
yes,
is quite magnanimous of you.
Yes. If probably still serving, who knows what would happen? I could be sitting in a hospital bed down there or a wheelchair. Now, if I'm gonna be in a wheelchair or using a walker, I want to make sure I'm comfortable and all that. So I'm doing it. I'm doing whatever I can do for them. So that's why I'm here today.
Yeah. So whose idea was it to have a raffle, this massive raffle? And I have to call it a massive raffle because it's the biggest one I've seen in a while.
Well, thank you. Family members, say, that car, you're getting older now, you can't drive that around. We get it here and, of course, the road. So the best thing to do with it is raffle it off. Part of the proceed, majority of the proceed will be going to, the convalescent home. And of course, we have a TV, a 65-inch TV, and an iPhone. And I realized that now the iPhone was supposed to be the third price, but price of phone and TV, we have to put the phone as the second price and the TV as the third price. And I know you mentioned the price earlier, but it's a season of giving.
Yes.
And I just have a moment which is giving. So we're gonna chop off about $1,000 and go down to about 4,000. Tickets are going, tickets are selling, but again, it's a season of giving. So we're gonna do, instead of, you may see it out there on social media as 5,000, but we're gonna go $4,000.
Yes.
It's a giving season, so we're giving.
Yeah, well, especially for those who perhaps have not heard of this raffle before, the information is made quite simple in this ad. Are you ready for a chance of a lifetime? Get ready to rev up your dreams and make them a reality. Introducing the most incredible raffle of the year, brought to you by Dias Protection Services, DPS, presenting its first annual charity raffle in conjunction with the Jamaica Constabulary Force Convalescent Home. That's right, folks. They're giving giving all of us an opportunity to own a 2021 Polaris Slingshot. Is this for real? The name of the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
That's the name of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sure you can tell us what Polaris means.
I can.
You're the man of words, man. Many words.
But anyway, I should not have stopped because I was
Sorry
trying to read the commercial as it is written. Right. No, seriously though. So that's right, folks. They're giving us the opportunity to own a 2021 Polaris Slingshot as the grand prize. And let me see now. We now have as the second prize the iPhone 15. iPhone 15. Yes, and
then the 65-inch TV becomes the third prize.
Okay.
Because of
the third prize. Third prize.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that's because of the
pricing.
Right, understood. And so listeners, so let's continue. So all you have to do is participate in this incredible raffle to be held, guess where? At Sting 2023 at Jam World in Portmore, St. Catherine. And that's on, obviously, that's Boxing Day, the 26th of December. Being at the event is not required. In other words, they're not going to say you weren't at the event, and so we're going to go in the bag again and move to another.
No.
Right? Whether or not you're physically there doesn't matter. What matters is if you have the winning ticket, correct?
Exactly. And it matters because it's a public space. It will be live, of course. And of course, ex-detective sergeant, a mentor of mine, and we go way back. So when I asked him, that's the convalescent home, the guys down there, it's all dear to our heart. So it was a no-brainer for him to say yes. The space is there, the stage is there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be doing the drawing at that public space. Again, you don't have to be at Sting, but your number is gonna be on the ticket. And if you wanna watch, stuff will be live. Nowadays everybody have something on social media. John Brown in Timbuktu win. He will know even if he's not watching. Because it's the broadcasting.
Absolutely. And of course, tickets are look at the time. Let's take the break and come back.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
13 minutes to 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32, Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. You were saying?
There's different venues.
Somebody waits for
All right, take care. All the best. Okay, okay.
Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas. At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is...
Apologies for the late time signal. It's 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica.
Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. The 50-30-20 rule. Creating a budget can help you make confident decisions and enjoy peace of mind. A detailed budget, though, can be complex to manage. For one easy way to plan your spending, you may try using the 50-30-20 rule. It splits expenses into just 3 categories and also offers recommendations on how much money to use for each. The 50-30-20 rule recommends putting 50% of your money towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards savings. The savings category also includes money you will need to realize your future goals.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Ho, ho, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:04. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:04. 现在几点了？4点04分。4 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And all the best to Patrick Dias and his team as they seek to raise funds in support of those in the convalescent home of the constabulary. And we trust they will get the support that they seek to raise the funds to make their mark, to play their part in service to the men and women of the police service. So by all means, if you're able to, go ahead and make your contribution, and at the same time giving yourselves the opportunity to walk away with one of these prizes at a ridiculous price. So you might spend $5,000 for a ticket and end up winning the 2021 Polaris Slingshot, or the iPhone 15, or the Samsung, the 65-inch Samsung TV. If you need more information, 876-505-6736 or 876-505-6066. Let's get to your calls and your messages now. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. All right, let's go to our messages now. And we have quite a few, as you would imagine. So let us clear them and make sure. Okay, so here we go. Cuban in Georgia is starting us off this afternoon with his thread of messages. He says, "Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Wonderful poem and beautiful rendition with Holly Jolly Christmas song. Keep up the great work, sir. We appreciate you and your staff greatly." That's kind of you to say, Cuban in Georgia. Thank you. James in East London has shared with us the usual collection of stories coming out of the United Kingdom. Police investigating unexplained death of man in his 40s in Baika. Millions of DAB radio listeners to be locked out of stations. UK braces for snow? Really? UK braces for snow as cold weather takes a grip. Oh dear. Man who called 999 wanting to take his own life shot dead by police. Oh dear. What a tragedy. Sorry to hear that. An Essex police officer has been dismissed without notice for breaching professional standards, and a Met police officer twice tasered a 10-year-old girl in her own home. A misconduct panel has heard. PC Jonathan Broadhead and a colleague were dispatched to the girl's home after her mother reported that her daughter had threatened her with garden shears and a hammer in January 2021. Precious from New Monkland in St. Thomas says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Still no sound from Poro 106. It's going 3 weeks now." I'm sorry, I had no idea. I thought I'd responded already to that message. I didn't realize the problem was persisting. Oh dear, that's not good. That's not good at all. Terribly sorry to hear that. Let's see if we can send in a message to the engineers. We just did. And I'm sure they're going to want. Oh, okay, I know exactly what to do. Let's go to this one. And let's find the WhatsApp details for our listener from Monkland in St. Thomas. Why is it taking so long to find it? Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Let's see what we have here. Hold on, this is the one. All right, so we're going to forward Precious's details. Let's go to share. And it's taking a while. Buffering. Still buffering. All right, and now we're sending it to Transmission TV Radio. All right, let's hope that is resolved sooner than later. Thank you very much, engineers. Norman Wright says, "Good afternoon, Sir Dervan." Good afternoon, Norman Wright. Hope you're having your sip a cup of your favorite teas. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, "Hi, Dervan. Good afternoon. I heard the Prime Minister make a statement saying that public sector workers are not pulling their weight when it comes to dealing with the public. I could not agree with him more. I have been calling the Accountant General's pension department for over 3 days. I called 39 times, and up to now, no one has answered the phone. It made me wonder, what is the purpose Or what is their purpose? Or what is the purpose of their having a listed phone number? It's very frustrating calling for 29 times and no one answers. Are they on strike? Is anyone working in that department? And H. Morgan has shared the number with us that he has been calling 00, because he's in the UK, 001-876-922-8320. I don't know if that's the correct order in terms of the dialing format, but that's what H. Morgan in Birmingham is sharing with us. He says, this is the number I am calling, not even a message. I am not able to leave, as the recording says the mailbox is full. What's the point of these government departments? These people, when they don't have a job, they complain. When they get the job, they don't want to do it, says H. Morgan in Birmingham. Sorry to hear of your plight, H. Morgan in Birmingham. And this person is asking, where is the facility? Which facility? Which facility? Come again, please. Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine is greeting us as usual. Welcome, Ricardo. This one says, Jones from Portmore, the coffee farmer who was complaining about the price of coffee beans per box. Can you make a link between us? Jones from Portmore. What was Kingston like before the Sandy Gully? We'll just have to go into the archives to pull that one. But with respect to the link, Michael in East Rural St. Andrew, if you're listening, please give us a call. Michael, coffee farmer in East Rural St. Andrew. Give us a call, please. Let's see if we can put you in touch with Jones from Portmore. And this one from Barnett, Maryland, asking, how are you doing today? I'm fine, thanks. I wish everyone a beautiful day as we do our best to obey God's commandments and remember the Sabbath is included. Amen, says Barnett, Maryland. Think we have cleared all the messages, have we? And those are the, oh, here's another one. This is WhatsApp. This is island-wide. Let's see. Where does it start? Good afternoon, Sir Dervan. I am a fool, and bank ATMs in Jamaica keep reminding me, send the fool on the next fool machine. All banks disrespect, don't give a whatever about its customer. Just drive up and down and stand in line to find out you are a fool. I'm in Discovery Bay. The two NCB machines have been taken away and the Scotia machine is not working. Drove to Runaway Bay and all three NCB and Scotia machines are out of order. Drove to St. Anne's Bay and only one of the four NCB machines is working and had to join a very long line. The limit per withdrawal was $5,000. Arms hosting that. Getting cash from banks in Jamaica is like having a nightmare experience. This is island-wide. If you find a machine working, you need an hour or two to get through. It's a disgrace that this is allowed to be tolerated. Strong words there from Norman Wright, one of our regular listeners. Yes, indeed, it can be quite frustrating, time-consuming, and discombobulating. Such is the nature of doing business in Jamaica. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
17 minutes past 4 o'clock.
deposit we have insurance. It's an account that come with assurance. Let me teach you why it's important to have deposit insurance. Just in case your bank crash down. No need to put your hands for your head. Up to 1.2 million you get for an account that's affected. Yeah, one room you can start it. Start your house party. Pay your mortgage with ease. JDIC is a smart bid. Deposit we bring safety. JDIC them protect me. Bank and building society protected. The flow you must get with. Protect your savings smartly. We urging you to call. Guarantee you need us. We take banking serious. GDIC, protecting deposits for you and me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:18. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:18. Cienciai, TDN le, si dien shur ba fen. 18 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers, especially from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Continuing with more, here's H. Morgan from Birmingham again. He has sent us a rejoinder. He says, hi, Dervan, the number is correct because it rings when I rang that number, and then the answering machine came on to ring from Jamaica. You removed the 001. Understood. Here's Steve in Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon, Steve. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon, Dervan, and thank you. And good afternoon to your listeners, people of Westmoreland, Savlaman, Lennox Wiggleton in particular, and to my man in Speed. Oh, but before I forget, real quick, Dervan, you heard that the Rose Scholar, recent 2023 Rose Scholar was actually from Mines, eh?
Oh, yes, we have heard a few times, yes.
Okay, awesome. It's one of those messages that is like coming across. You have constantly here.
If you come back here with it, I'm going to charge you $1 million to have it run.
Well, this is my first time. You guys had a Rose Scholar too, right? That Calabar, right?
We've had a few. We've had a few.
A few. Okay, so we do have a ways to go then. All right, no worries. We'll catch up.
What's up?
I found that the message that you read with regards to the AVM machines, I found that intriguing. And as someone who started out my professional life in the banks, working as a teller, I just found it interesting, the new state of affair, and in terms of, because that distance that he drove to find an ABM machine is, knowing the area of the land, it's quite a few miles or kilometers nowadays. Mm-hmm. So, but having identified that problem, I think you said that is something that's across the country. How can we get it resolved? Is it that we need to complain to the OUR for them to have a certain standards? And I know that there are issues with regards to scamming and all of that complicate the issues, but certainly we cannot have a situation where the banks are closing down branches and pushing people to these machines, and the machines are not available or not working.
Yes.
Like, what's the resolution?
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's we saw it coming actually, because we used to talk about the fact that it's so hard to find functioning or functional machines, money machines, for whatever reason, and that has continued to haunt us, because the number of machines, it's like they're drying up, and
Right.
and leaving us to just go back to putting the money under our mattress or pillow.
And I think it was Victoria Mutual that closed that remove all of their machines, if I remember correctly. I think I saw something like that.
Something
And
along
I
those
think
lines,
NCB,
yes.
yeah, NCB had said that they were going to assess or review the number of machines that they had. But if the banks are closing branches and the fees are going up, because that's the other side of the coin, is that the fees are going up that they're charging for these services, but yet still the services are not available, and you're being punished as a gentleman, saying that you have to wait so long in a line. So it means to pretty much double the amount, or at least have more machines available at these locations, wherever these locations are.
Yes.
And as you are familiar, when you come to your second home in Toronto,
did you know 11 years ago this day, that's where I was in Canada on one of those boats.
Oh wow.
Yes, 11 years ago. That's what Facebook told me this morning.
Well, we know that is your second home, and you sometimes cheat on us with New York and UK, but anyway, we're the faithful. So, but yeah, something needs to be done, Dervan, and there needs to I don't hear the banking association saying anything. Well, I know that they represent the bank, but I'm not sure who represents the consumer. Would that be the Bank of Jamaica? They don't seem to be picking up on the side of the consumer.
I would like to think so. I would like to think the Bank of Jamaica has awesome responsibilities in that regard.
But is it that, when I used to work at a branch, I won't call the bank name right now, there was a politician who, a very prominent and big politician, we would have to go to his office in New Kingston for him to transact banking business. So someone from bank would actually walk down and he would have to do, and then, so if he needed to withdraw like a $500 or $5,000, we'll carry the thing down there, carry a stamp and stamp the book and update whatever. I'm saying that just to wonder if the Bank of Jamaica people, they actually bank in Jamaica, because it seems that they're oblivious as to what the average person go through. Or is it that they send their bearer down to the bank and that is how it's actually dealt with? Because they can't be going through the same thing and haven't done anything, or is it that they just don't care?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's whatever the situation, it needs to be sorted out. It can't treat customers like this, really and truly.
But where do we go for recourse? Where does the average Jamaican
make some posters and stand in front of Bank of Jamaica, for starters.
I see. But if they're flying on their helipads and all of that, that's serious. I don't know, but it's an interesting state of affair, because the banks won't be in any rush to put in more banking machines, because it's a cost to them.
That's right.
And right now it's all about profit and profitability.
Mm-hmm.
So if no one is there saying that there needs to be a certain service standard, and the regulator is not doing that,
then people will just run wild and do whatever they feel like doing.
Yeah, and that is what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
That is what is happening. There's no, I mean, the machines aren't working, so you're going to have a client who will drive from all over the place, as this gentleman says, because they need the service. Mm-hmm. So, nobody really care about the customers. And so we can't go to, like, DOJ people, they're oblivious to what is happening. Obviously, the finance minister...
No, they're busy. They're busy keeping up with inflation. Or trying to keep up with inflation. Yes.
Another interesting point that you mentioned, real quick, and I have to go. So this latest measurement, or latest relief of inflation, which is going to come a few months from now, and it's only going to... I would love to see the figures and how they compile the figures. Like to say that the reduction in the
bus fare,
KMTR, yes. What impact that they see that is going to have on inflation, because that only affects a very minute part of the travelers.
I seem to have heard, I don't remember who was speaking, but someone of those financial representatives seemingly suggesting that it's a situation of doing more harm than good, or just something not what they call it now, it's not adding up.
It doesn't add up, because when you look at the percentage of the travelers, the Minister of Transport already said that they're not going to be able to increase the number of seating. So if we're looking at, we can use the current figures that are there, and when you look at the percentage increases in comparison to the island-wide percentage increases, it's not a 1-for-1. It's more like I don't even know if it is 1/5 or 1/10 of the overall travelers. So it's very difficult for me to see how that small proportion is going to significantly reduce that inflation, because they say it would increase. Inflation is going to increase by 1% based on the current increase, and then another percent based on the next increase. So, and even the rollout of the new buses is over a 3-year span. And that is if the buses actually come. So it's not adding up. But what is even more certain is that the reduction will have to be paid by the taxpayers.
Hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30. The public sector touches the life of every single Jamaican, and that's why the government is transforming the way the public sector operates by making better use of technology to improve the delivery of public services, by improving the compensation of public sector workers to attract and retain the skills needed to run a modern and efficient public service, through training up workers to drive performance, innovation, and decision-making, by reducing waste and eliminating corruption, and other measures to make sure the country gets the best value from every dollar spent. The government of Jamaica is building a better public sector for all. Visit publicsectortransformation.gov.jm to learn more.
Attention all pet owners. Treat your dog for fleas and ticks with a monthly chewable and say goodbye to external parasites. Also, protect your furry friends from heartworm disease with HeartGuard. Ask your veterinarian today about keeping your canine companion protected from parasites, or visit the Hyper A Supercenter's veterinary pharmacy at White Mile, St. Catherine. Happiness is powerful pet protection.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know. and everyone knew me.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:28. 现在几点了？5点28分. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks to Velta Wilson. She has sent information for the Accountant General's Department. She says she has 2 numbers, which she shared with us, and we're seeing the numbers 876-818-6583 or 876-922-8320. So the suggestion from Velta Wilson is that H. Morgan in Birmingham, England, should try those 2 numbers and see what happens in terms of the business that he's trying to do with the Accountant General's Department. All right, back to Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada. Yes, Steve, back to you.
Yes, Dervan. So the other thing about inflation, which I don't understand, one of the things that is normally said about inflation is too much money chasing too few goods.
Mm-hmm.
So when you reduce the fares, what is going to happen? The traveling public are going to have more money in their hand to spend.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that cause inflation? Like, so it's not the whole concept and everything is not. I understand that the prices increase, the traveling costs increase. Normally, what they do is increase interest rate for people to take the money out of the society. And typically what you'll find happening is prices increase, so people are doing less spending. Now, if you're putting more money back into the people's hand, that means that they're going to have more money to spend.
Mm-hmm.
In theory, and as what everybody is saying, that there isn't enough productivity, then they're going to be, productivity is not increasing, so the number of items is the same at 5, but instead of having 5 people chasing that, you have 10 people chasing it, and that's going to increase inflation. So, I know that Dr. Clark didn't go to Annings, even though his mom taught there, and he went to Oxford. So probably they're dealing with a different level of economics than we're exposed to. And that's all how I can see it. Why they're and the DOJ people too. But interestingly, I heard a conversation with the DOJ people, and I think it was Emily Shields. And they weren't able to articulate the figures. They said, well, it's the minister and the transport people they just say that inflation is going to go up by 1% this year and then by another percent next year, so making it 2%. They weren't able to say, okay, well, this reduction is going to cause a 25 or 50% or whatever percentage reduction in inflation, even though the Minister Clark, that is, said that they were having a conversation. They were having conversations and so forth. So I something is certainly missing there, Dervan. Anyway, I know you have quite a few other callers, so I won't take up any more of your time. And just say thank you very much for hearing me. And I will call you back when we have our next voice caller.
Good luck. All right, take care. All right. Bye-bye. That's Steve in Toronto, Canada. Thank you very much, Steve. And Bratislava, Borivojova, says, greetings, Dervan from Costa Rica. Welcome, Bratislava Borivajova from Costa Rica. Winifred Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Have a great afternoon. Winifred Campbell from Mavis Bank. Thank you very much for your message. Oliver Samuels says, good afternoon, Jamaica. I don't think this is the same Oliver Samuels as in the comedian. I think we figured that out some time ago. Good afternoon to Oliver Samuels. Maureen Grant Gauntlet says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Happy Monday to you and all your listeners. Blessings always. Thank you very much, Maureen Grant Gauntlet, for your message. Velta Wilson in St. Thomas. Good to have you on board as well. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. To you too, Faye Weller. She says, I'm here listening. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine, still tuned in. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth is also in touch with us. Good afternoon, she says. Derek Morgan says, greetings and salutations to Mr. D and your wonderful listeners. Praying everyone had a great weekend. Whatever you're going through right now, please know that brighter days are ahead. And those are the words of Derek Morgan. Thank you very much for those words. Let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks, but your line seems to be
I'm using my own phone. I don't know exact reason.
Oh wow.
Well, Dervan, did you check out that TV one that song I recommended to you? You listen?
Yes, I not to the point of running it off so that I could to play it. But I actually started off with not today though, but the other day I used the lyrics of the song as the poetry section of the introduction.
I wasn't in touch yesterday.
No, it wasn't yesterday either.
Well, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
One start work right up to it.
Yes.
All of them, the thing is not necessarily giving either priority. But the previous caller questioned about the banking system.
Uh-huh.
The Minister of Finance has full responsibility of all financial institutions in Jamaica.
Yes.
That's where the book stops. When Ennis tried to...
When who?
Ennis, you remember that MP from...
Oh, the gambling thing? Was it gambling?
No, with the bank. With the fees that the banks were charging.
Okay.
And he had a vote in Parliament. The whole government side voted against it with the exception of Mike Henry. He was not in the House at that time.
It was from that long?
I mean, the bank has been having its way periodically from that time.
Oh, okay.
And when I say where the book stopped with Minister of Finance, recently in England, the finance minister had some legislation that banks cannot have the ATM machine too far from its customer. It specified the distance they could have it.
Oh, really? So where are the lawyers challenge these things?
You know, that's my next point. That's very lacking in Jamaica, civil liberties.
Yeah, yeah. Normally you have, with a situation like that. Yeah, yes.
Civil liberties is very lacking in Jamaica. Where do you think criminality is so high? Like, try one that.
Oh boy.
You know, you have to really try to see the ease of things, over comfortable it is,
Yeah.
Because it's like the whole same way where you are. All right. This bus thing, I think at the
bus fare.
When only 40% of the bus output, only 40%, it's 150 at buses when it should have been 400 or something. It's minuscule, it's a tantamount to.
What's that?
A drowning man and a straw.
Why do you say that?
It's desperation.
And
And as a people, we're not numerically inclined. We don't work out things. Numbers frighten the average man.
But where are the people who have the skills? Why are they not?
The people who have the skills are not being listened to.
Oh.
Because the people with the skills rubbish this.
Okay.
They say this should not even be an afterthought, much less a thought. All right, another thing. I listen to the Prime Minister, not totally, but I say 80% I speak.
No, nothing is wrong with listening to everyone if you need to.
Because I want to know exactly how now critiquing. Watch now.
Yes.
In his speech, he didn't say a word about agriculture in all his presentation, Agriculture was the number one growth back from COVID time to now. I thought you were going to speak about some added value to agriculture now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it may have well just remained and not mentioned, considering that over the years I can recall from my 30 years of hearing all these budget presentations and policy announcements and campaigning rhetoric, etc. We have always and we continue to give lip service to agriculture.
Yes, but look at Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back to the banking thing. You know what worries me?
What's that?
I want to say worries. I shouldn't say worry. I guess my concern. I mean, all of my concern with you, so I worry, Cool. The fact that the opposition minister, the opposition leader, is also from a banking background.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to wonder who's going to build the cat.
That's a good question. And
you
this.
You can see the familiarity, especially from its history.
Mm-hmm.
It's not wind so easily.
Yeah.
It's not something you win so easily.
True.
All right? Yeah. But another part of the financial piece I thought was regretful.
Mm-hmm.
Was it mentioned at the ceasefire in Gaza now? And the two-state solution.
That was disgraceful, you said? Oh, distasteful. Okay.
Yes. When that vote would have just meant empathy. That's all those votes mean now.
Right. But hold a moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Real Business, appointment radio for everything economics, locally, regionally, and internationally. Real Business, your source for engaging conversations on business, finance, and economics. Join hosts Ralston Hyman and Dr. Andrew Sutherland from 9 to 11 a.m. on weekdays as they bring you the most authoritative analysis on economic matters. Listen to riveting features such as The Big Picture, Under the Financial Microscope, the Business Information Update, and local and international market updates. From the latest happenings on various business sectors and players in the economy, to how fiscal and monetary policies affect your life, make it Real Business on Power 106 FM, Monday to Friday, 9 to 11 a.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
Say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. ¿Quel est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在几点了？5点。14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Yes, sir. Thanks for holding.
You know, that vote at the General Assembly.
Yes.
All that vote in a layman term was empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like you could fix it. I had no such power.
So it just needed an expression of empathy.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No wonder we're so cruel. We're becoming so cruel because if empathy is lacking and leadership, you are thinking of passed on. What is it in the way of the leadership from an empathy point of view?
You're saying they're following the leader?
It looks so.
Okay.
It looks so. Because if you couldn't vote on something right now, I was just watching Al Jazeera. And you know the Palestinians are banned for celebrating the release of their relative.
What?
Sir, I'm stating a fact. I'm not opining. The very moment they cannot post anything welcoming in the West Bank, in occupied East Jerusalem, because nothing is happening in Gaza but bombardment. So you know, it's posted. And the next thing I want to know, you see, I'm one of the people that try to see, and even our journalism, so-called journalism, you know, because sometimes don't bore me, you know. Honestly, may I tell you that? The simplicity of the argument, with no context to it. Look at the disparity in the language and the treatment of the released people. All the Israelis that were released from Amman said they were well treated. And all of the Palestinians talk who abused them was they didn't even match up. The couple mistake away the finding somebody else was stripped naked.
Well, at least they reported on both sides.
And no, but what I meant, you know, and the disparity.
No, man, I get that. That is quite palpable. I get that. Yes.
And the next thing, and the Israeli side, even two newspapers retracted it. The Washington Post and the New York Times. They were publishing that 400 Israeli women were killed and 40 children. On the Palestinian side, 400 women were killed and 40 minors. No need value to those Jews died. So they retracted that story, Washington Post and the New York Times yesterday. I was online reading them yesterday. They redacted that now. And the world, you know, as we see it, we're supporting some people that we can't empathize. Because, you know, growing up now and looking back as how I was taught it in high school now, you know. We were favoring one side over the other. It was total ignorance. So our views now sometimes has created a bias where we came to the forest for one tree. Dervan, I want to keep up the good work, yeah? And I want people to see how this government is shady. Because they look nervous yesterday, no? They look really nervous because all the prime minister, the more looking further away from what he was trying to say. You know that Curtis Mayfield song, Fruitful Love?
Which one is that now? What love?
Curtis Mayfield have a song where called Fruitful Love.
Fruitful love.
Soulful.
Oh, soulful love.
Yeah, but what he's trying to say, he was in the initial part, he said, what he said takes him away from the thing that he really want to say. Then he questioned, but who can define soulful love? And I know the parents wasn't trying to define soulful love in his confusion. But maybe his confusion is an order that I don't understand. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you very much for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
And I wonder what that man from Canada was looking through, what kind of eyes that the Prime Minister looked jumpy. You never hear what Venetia Phillips said that the PMP is going now, we are on some of the comrades and cuss her and some of the galang because we anyway you're there with you. But the GLP is a plan, the party with a plan and the future and to move Jamaica forward to development. And anything pertaining to development, that is what she is for. And that is the land.
Hello?
The Papi division.
Sorry, we lost that. That is a what?
That she is a long-standing councillor for the Papi division of the PNP.
Mm.
And she had defected and joined the ranks of the Jamaica Labour Party, saying that she don't intend to be a candidate, but to work to advance the cause of Jamaica. Anyhow, as I was saying about confession good for the soul, when you look in yesterday's paper, you will see an article written by Lisa, and that size does matter, pertaining to allocation of
that
funds.
size does or doesn't matter?
Does matter.
Doesn't or does?
Does.
Okay.
In terms of the 22 million provided by the Prime Minister under the Constituency Mitigation and Cleaning Program, whereby 10 million will be used.
There's a fault on your line. Hello? Is he there? Lost the connection. Sorry about that. The line seems to be faulty. It was threatening to cut out and it just did. Sorry about that. Feel free to call back if you're able to. Let's go to another of the messages. Sir Malcolm, the capitalist imperialist clique in which former Prime Minister spoke about in the first 10 years of Jamaica's history at the PNP 37th Annual Conference at the National Stadium, and clique and the JLP was a yo-yo of the clique at the National Stadium, over 40,000 strong, and we believe that the clique is still operating in Jamaican territory affairs. It was Sunday, September 19, 1976 PNP Annual Conference at the National Stadium because the National Arena could not accommodate the crowd, so they had to take the conference into the National Stadium. So this is coming from, who is this? This is Cuban in Georgia, I believe. Here's Neville, otherwise known as Salah. He says, good afternoon, Dervan. Dervan, Thursday gone was month end for government workers, and Saturday I went to Scotia ATM, 6 of them, and all of them had no cash. I think it's about time that we, the public, demonstrate against Scotiabank. I haven't gone back there since. I don't know if it is the same problem from last week till now. Salah from Kingston. Crocs in Black River says, greetings. Since the Prime Minister had the good fortune of having all of his MPs at the conference and on the same stage with him yesterday afternoon, and since he was having a very difficult time in locating some of them previously, I wonder if he did not jump at the opportunity to get to ask if any of them had been contacted by the IC, as in the Integrity Commission, about being investigated for illicit enrichment. Anything short of that would have been negligence on his part, from Crocs in Black River. This one says, the man who spoke to you at 8 minutes to 5 is a brilliant man, but he's too political. And let's go to the other messages. Good afternoon to author Kwame McPherson, the award-winning Kwame McPherson. And if you want more information, just Google author Author, Kwame, Kwame, McPherson, McPherson, is playing his part in flying the Jamaican flag very high. Well done, author Kwame McPherson. Everton Watson, good afternoon to you. And let's go to WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, teacher. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm great so far. Good to talk with you guys. Teacher, let me tell you something quickly. I have a very interesting discussion this afternoon with Dr. Herbert Gill. It was a very powerful discussion, and I was so angry and upset. You understand what I'm saying, teacher?
I'm sorry to hear that. What made you angry and upset?
Because I was talking about conflict, how it does affect our Jamaican society. And I was talking about politics as well, and the crime and violence, you know.
So you were talking about a lot.
Yes. I know that conflict is not a new thing to our society. Teacher, say for instance, when someone murdered somebody, that is also conflict, correct?
Yes, a conflict would have led to that one way or another.
Yes. We as human beings, we cannot be soft when these things happen all the time. We have to be rough and tough. We have to stand up. We cannot be silent. We have to speak about these things.
All right, let's leave it there for now. We're almost out of time. Thank you for the call. Take care. Okay. Bye-bye. It's almost 5 o'clock. Goodness. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 27th of November, 2023. The moving finger right and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, both sides of the story. Tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5, I believe we'll be joining Alfonso Grenell of Grenell's Driving School at the 4th in a series of Crash Free 2023 at the Montego Bay Convention Center. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful,
Bye.
and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news.